my little party animals. Hiphiprenee here today with a brand new speed build for you on my brand new channel. That's right, brand new channel, because my last channel froze to death in a blizzard. So today, because Strangerville released yesterday, we have a base game and Strangerville only build. So I have not done one of these limited pack builds in quite some time, I must say. I have been really bad about not doing builds that don't have every single pack in them. And I think it's just because I have the items and I use them so much that when I go into build and buy mode, there are just certain items that I really like using in all, if not most, of my builds, and there's some things from like some weird packs that I just really enjoy using while I am building houses, especially some of the kitchen items. It's really the kitchen items that get me, because there's some really, really good ones in the kitchen stuff pack, and that's just, it's such a weird, odd pack to feel like you have to have, but I feel like I have to have that one. So this was a very challenging build for me, having to only do Strangerville in only base game. So the idea that I kind of came up with behind this, I knew that I wanted to use the new doors and windows that we got with Strangerville. That was the idea behind this build 110%. So obviously I had to make the rest of the build match that particular style. So these windows and doors are very, very stylized, and I would say they're very Victorian kind of style. That seems to be what they were going with as far as everything else in the world. It's just all kind of Victorian. So obviously I had to do, a Victorian inspired house. I did look up a photo of some Victorian houses, and I found one that was very similar looking to this. I wouldn't say it is an exact replica by any means of the word. I definitely took quite a few liberties. I added all of these porches on. Those were not part of the original kind of exterior of the house that I was looking at, but you will understand why there are so many porches in just a minute, because we will get to the interior and you will see that this is not a single family home. This is actually an apartment building. So in the city that I grew up in, I had an apartment there, and it was in this old, I wouldn't say it was super Victorian, but it was an older home, and it was really cool because it was very clearly had been a house at one point or another. And just kind of as the years went, they separated it into apartments. We lived on the very top floor. It was a third floor walk up. It was horrible. I do not ever recommend living in a walk-up apartment. It's horrible. We never went grocery shopping. And it's not because we didn't have food, because we never had food in that apartment. We never went grocery shopping because we refused to have to bring the groceries back into the house. It was terrible walking up those stairs. No, thank you. Do not recommend. But I wanted to make sure that I could use as many items from Strangerville as possible. So I figured the best way to do that, instead of just making some crazy conspiracy theorist house, and yes, I'm going to use the words because I'm not monetized, so I don't care. If YouTube wants to get mad at me for saying the words conspiracy theory, they're going to have to deal with it for a while. So I didn't want to do just some crazy conspiracy theorist house, so the idea behind this was I could showcase a few different personalities from what I have learned about the pack. Now, I did get the pack yesterday, and I played it for, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes to a half an hour yesterday, but I had to go to work, so I got the pack and basically immediately had to go to work. I did not get a chance to play with the gameplay, and then I woke up at the butt crack of dawn this morning so I could finish this build, because I did start this yesterday, thank God. If I had not started this build yesterday, I do not think you would be watching this right now. There's no way that I would have been able to do this full build in just one morning without wanting to rip my hair out. No, thank you. But so I wanted to show off a few different personalities. So there are 4 apartments in this building. Now I did upload this to the gallery 2 times. So I uploaded it unfurnished with no layout, but the entire exterior is done. And I also uploaded it to the gallery completely with the layout, with the furnishings, all of that stuff. So you can choose if you want to download this house, whether you want it to be furnished or unfurnished. The unfurnished version, like I said, does not have a layout, so you can very easily make this into a single family home, or you can switch up the apartments, kind of make it 1 floor and then another apartment on the 2nd floor, or just split it up however you want to split it up. I am never opposed to anybody playing around with my builds and making them work for what they need it to. So this is about the point where I started getting really frustrated that I could only use Strangerville and base game items, but I do think that I made it work. There were enough base game items to kind of furnish everything, and then there were enough Strangerville items to be able to make sure that I was using them as much as humanly possible. With this being my first build with Strangerville, I did want to make sure I was using as many of the items as humanly possible. I feel like I don't know, if you're going to do a Strangerville build, like, use the items. So I use them for the sake of using them, which is not something that I typically do in my builds, but I do think they all worked out. So this is on, I think it's a 40 by 30 lot, and it is in Strangerville. So this is kind of up on those like mountains up top. And the 4 apartments belong to a geeky conspiracy theorist. Now, I did create some of these Sims. I haven't created all of them yet. I might do that as a separate video. I did record it just in case. I wasn't sure. But Neville Cook is our geeky conspiracy theorist. So his apartment's like all messy and gross, and you'll see it. Then we have the military recruit, Raymond Strang. So he lives alone. They all live alone with the exception of the couple towards the end, which I think their apartment is one of the first ones that we decorate. There is a girl next door, Ashley Piper. She actually wants to be a master vampire. So she's like this really cutesy girl, but secretly deep down she's really just not a good person. And then the last couple is the old, kind of just strange, they don't really talk much. They just kind of stare at you as you walk past in the hallway. Like, they'll never collect your mail for you if you're on vacation or anything. They're just kind of like that really standoffish couple. And they're just an elderly couple. I did not create them yet, so I don't have names or anything like that, but I'm sure I will come up with something. So the first apartment that we are working on here is the girl next door. So this is Ashley Piper's apartment. That is a mouthful to say. So with her apartment, I really wanted to go nice and light and bright and keep it really fun. Even though she is a vampire, she is evil, she's not a good person, guys. I really wanted to show off the fact that she portrays herself as, this really bright and peppy girl next door. So her apartment definitely reflects that. We go into the kitchen here and we have the nice light blue countertops. I think these are super pretty. I so rarely get to use them because it's really hard to fit them into certain types of builds, but I think it really worked in here trying to show off her girly personality. She does have everything in this kitchen that she needs to be able to cook and everything like that, and yes, it is usable. We will discuss that later. There's some controversy going around about Strangerville, so we will discuss that a little bit later. But once we get into the living room over here, the living room is very, very pink. So my influences for this entire apartment are blue and pink, that very nice light kind of powder blue, and then a really nice light powdery pink as well. And this is just, it's a very simple apartment. A lot of them are very simple simply because size is a factor in here. There was not a lot of space to create many different rooms within each of these apartments. So most of them are combined kitchen, living space, as well as a bedroom. That really is all of them, actually, except the conspiracy theorist. He sets up his apartment differently than everybody else, so he doesn't really have a separate bedroom. You'll see when we get up there. I think he's the last one that we do. But I'm just kind of going around and decorating her apartment. So while we do that, let's talk about the Strangerville conspiracy. So people seem to be really mad that they are reusing a base game house. I don't really know. I don't really know how I feel about this. I mean, I feel like for me, when I go into the game, I don't ever play in EA houses. I either download houses off of the gallery or I put my own builds into the world and I basically just kind of demolish everything, and I don't actually play with the houses that are already in the game. So that, for me, kind of is it's a whatever. I do understand that some people are upset about that. I get it. But at the same time, I replace all my builds. So that doesn't really affect me too much. Then there is the bunker build. So the bunker build is in Strangerville and it came with the game. And I guess, now I haven't gone in and done this myself or anything like that, but I've seen videos of it, so I trust everybody. I mean, they showed it happening, so I get it. But in the bunker build, I guess there is a glitch in the kitchen. And by a glitch, I mean somebody did not play test that house because you cannot actually cook because there is a fruit bowl in the way. So this, I totally understand. I get it. I totally get why people are mad about this. At the same time, I can't talk because you guys know that I don't play test my builds. I'm the worst at it. I always forget or I get lazy and I just don't end up doing it. So whoever created that house and did not play test it and did not make sure the kitchen worked, I feel your pain. I really need to get better at it, but I just get so excited when I get done a build that I finish it and I leave the game and then I walk away and I do something else with my time. So I understand. I get it, guys. You're upset that the build doesn't work. You should be upset that the build doesn't work. It's a silly thing to overlook, but at the same time, I get it because I'm lazy and I don't play test my builds, and I'm sorry for that. So that is my opinion basically on those. I don't have any strong feelings one way or another, what makes a man neutral and all of that. So I'm sorry that I am not more interesting on that topic. But this is the military apartment, if you haven't figured that out. So his apartment is very utilitarian. There's not a lot of pizzazz and decorations and fun things all over this apartment. It is very these are the things that I need and that's it. So I kind of wanted to go with that idea. Maybe he is a new recruit to the military. So he has to live in this apartment building. He doesn't have a lot of his own money. So, this is the most economical thing for him to do. So he lives in one of the upstairs apartments. The two upstairs apartments I feel like are a bit larger than the downstairs apartments, and that's because there is no weird little room behind the staircase. That weird little room is because I forgot that laundry day is not part of base game. So I was going to have that little room downstairs be the laundry for the entire building. So I probably will go into my game, and if I decide to play in this house, I will be, kind of redecorating a little bit to use all of the other packs, especially so I can put laundry in here. I really feel like it makes sense when you are doing an apartment building to do laundry, because 9 times out of 10, you do not have your own laundry, especially in really large old buildings like this. So the laundry room could be a nice new fresh addition to this disgusting decrepit apartment building. I did actually, I'm sure you noticed, I did cut out me doing the layout as well as me picking the floorings and the wallpapers. That decision was really hard for me because you guys know that I do not like cutting things out of my build, but this video was just going to be way too long if I did not cut it out. So that is a first on hiphiprenee on my old or new channel, is me cutting out me doing the layout. Because layouts are some of my favorite things and they usually do not take me very long. But I was trying to split up these apartments as evenly as humanly possible, and it was a lot of trial and error to get them into layouts that I didn't hate. It was really tough. There's a lot of diagonal walls that I'm very much questioning my decision on in this build, but I think it ends up working. Because the build, is this really old kind of Victorian style home, it makes sense that the layout is a little bit on the stranger side because it did used to be a full, just one family home, and now it's split up into 4 apartments. So I'm sure that can't be easy when you're trying to move walls around and figure out how you can make these apartments a thing. So this is my favorite apartment in the entire build. This is the conspiracy theorist apartment, and it's just so cluttered and messy and disgusting, and I love cluttery, messy, disgusting builds. They are my favorite thing ever. I'm sure you guys, if you've been to my old channel, that you know that because I had that whole Hip Hip Renovates series, which is going to be making a comeback, so don't panic. All of my old series will be coming onto the new channel with me. But I love straight up cluttering a build to the point of like oblivion. So this apartment was super fun for me to do. So you see that we have the bed in the main living space, and I kind of figured that's because he is trying to hide some of his, kind of conspiracy, paranoid, weird kind of items. So that is why he has all of those things over in that back bedroom. So we had all sorts of tables and, different listening devices and all sorts of things that came with Strangerville that are really cool, and I'm really excited to actually get into some gameplay with. And then just on the floor, I'm just putting as much straight up clutter as humanly possible. That new rug that came with Strangerville, that's just like the papers all over the place. I am definitely going to be using that in some of my regular builds. I am super looking forward to that. I think it's a really cool rug. It's a really nice idea, and it'll be really fun for people who want to make me trash houses. So if you want to have one of your builds on my channel with me renovating it, you guys can go into the gallery and upload your build with the hashtag hiphipRenovates. So I'm hoping to bring back that series soon. I am planning that every single month I will do an episode of Hip Hip Renovates. Hip Hip Realty, which is where we recreate actual houses for sale in the game, and then Hip Hip Rebuilds, which is where I am recreating or redoing all of the builds in every single world. This is the last apartment, so the conspiracy theorist was not our last apartment, but this is our last apartment. This is just kind of like an old couple. They keep to themselves. Maybe they've lived in Strangerville a long time. They know whatever the secret is, which I still don't know, so do not comment it down below. I'll be really mad at you. So maybe they already know what's going on, and they're so past caring at this point in their lives that they just, we're just going to live in this apartment building and live out our golden years here and let everybody else figure out what is going on in Strangerville. So their apartment is just very, kind of neat and clean. There's, a lot of just kind of old people looking furniture. You guys know what I mean. They always have, pillows everywhere and, really weird light colors, and it just, I don't know. Old people are weird sometimes. So their apartment is very, very simple. I did not want to go overboard with decorating their apartment. And also at this point, I feel like I had used all of the good decorations because I was only using base game and Strangerville. So there's not too many new paintings or anything like that. There's quite a few new clutter items, new shelving. There's a significant lack of furniture, but it's okay. But we're going to be heading into these screenshots here. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed this build. I am very much looking into getting into some gameplay with this. Unfortunately, Strangerville was not taken into account on creating my new LP. So I don't know, maybe we will figure out a way to work it in there somehow. I'm not sure how, but we'll figure it out. So that LP is going to be coming this weekend. I'm very, very excited to share it with you. So I hope you guys will join me for that. If you enjoyed this build, please give it a thumbs up down below. I would really appreciate it. If you're new here or you're not new here and you're not subscribed yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit that little bell so you get notifications every single time I post a new video. I will be back with you guys on Friday with some Create a Sim. Thanks so much. See you next time. Bye.